Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Trouble, and today I'm going to be doing a review of JoJo's Jojoland Chapter 12 of the Part 9 of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure manga series by Hirohiko Araki. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. Yeah, let's just jump right on in. The title of the chapter is His Name is Charming Man, and every time I say his name, I want to say Charlemagne. I don't know why. It sounds like Charlemagne. It even looks like Charlemagne. Anyway, but his name is Charming Man. And the narration, the chapter narration, we open up the chapter with a narration explaining the volcano Holalanai. Holalalai. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. About one of the volcanoes on the island. We get told that the volcano has been dormant since 1801, and and it is considered an active volcano, and there are no rivers on the volcano. So we see two brothers riding down the mountain. One of the brothers is a stand user that we've been fighting for the past three chapters, and his brother, um, which is, if I'm not mistaken, it's Makua, or yeah, Makua. Makua. They're riding down the mountain on their bikes, and we see Makua disappear. He just disappears, and all that's left is his bike and his shoes. This sends his brother into a panic, and he starts looking around to see what happened to his little brother. He eventually does see him in a lava tube getting washed away by a river. Um, we catch up with our gang. We catch up with the gang or our main characters, and they're at the airport on their way back home. Um, we see Dragona and Yasugi are at the store in the in the airport. Dragona wants to buy a souvenir to bring back for her mother, and Yasugi's helping him. Jodio and the stand user is sitting and staring awkwardly at each other on the couch. Jodio eventually breaks the silence by asking him, "Hey, what kind of music or artists have you been listening to as of late?" And he says, "Sia and SZA." Um, Sia is pretty. I think she's pretty popular, but if you don't know, it's like I'm gonna swing from the chandelier. The greatest. I mean, there's a lot of them. The greatest, unstoppable. If you don't know who CA is, I feel like SZA is a little less unknown. But if you want one of her songs, or my favorite of her songs is Kill Bill. Uh, I I might kill my ex. So there you go. He says, Joe Dio points out that both of them have three letters in their name, and this leads the other to say, yeah, I always get them confused because they have three letters in their name. Paco intervenes and says, "Hey, Joe Dio, now's not the time for this. Why don't you ask him like who he is and what he knows about the lava rock?" Jodio starts off by asking him his name, which he says is um, the Charmin Man, right? By asking his name, he says Charmin Man, and which they think is kind of weird, a strange name. And then he goes into like himself. He tells us that he grew up on an island. He tells us that there were no rivers on the island. There was no rivers on the island where he grows up, and then he gets into Rohan, and he tells us that Rohan wasn't a bad guy, and they weren't enemies or anything. Rohan actually came across the lava rock by complete accident, you know. But then we cut back to Dragona and Yasugi, and Dragona and Yasugi are still looking, and then a man comes up to them, a salesman comes up to them, and offers to sell them some jewelry. He opens up his coat, and would you guess it, it's the $80,000 watch that he has in there. Yasugi points out that the fact that Yasugi points out that at the fact that the watch isn't working anymore, and the original price the man offers was $800, and the second price, after Yusugi points out the fact that the watch wasn't working, he offers $80, and after Dragona says that that's a little fishy, he offers $30. which is exactly the amount of money Jogona wanted to spend. So they get the watch, and then they leave. As they're leaving, Charm, I'm gonna call him Charmin. I'm just gonna call him Charmin from now on. Charmin said asked Jodio that, hey, do you guys want to get, do you guys want to use the lava rock to get rich? And Charmin Man says it's not going to work. And he says you'll understand once you all drop off. I expect. I don't know what that means. That could have that alone in of itself could mean a bunch of things. I have no idea what that means. So we'll just have to wait and see what drop off or drop out means. Anyway, so we go back in time to when Yasugi lost his brother, and we see that a search party or the authorities or the police, it's never really explained what they are. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure they are the police. They're searching for his brother. They don't believe the story that Charmin gave to them. They don't believe the story that Charmin gave to them, and because he said that there was a river that washed away his brother, and as you already remember, there are no rivers on the mountain, which they find suspicious. And when we found out that he got into trouble with the law, with a police officer some time ago, and the policeman or the authority that's there suggests that he may have killed his brother, because as we know, as he says, he and his brother got into a fight, so he implies that Carmen may have done something to his little brother. And but they eventually leave, and they tell him that, hey, if you want us to search for your little brother, come back with some money and we'll do it. uh, Carmen keeps searching, and then he sees Rohan on the beach, on the volcano. He sees Rohan on the volcano, and this is a point in time where I don't know if I don't know if at this point he was collecting the rock, but I don't know if he'd known about it because he's been dropping money he drops a bunch of money on it because seeming like he was testing it. So it's kind of ambiguous if at this point he already knew about the rock, like he knew and he came there deliberately looking for the rock, or he just sort of came up on the rock. I think it's the opposite way. I think it's the other way around. Like he knew and came there. Yeah, he sees that, but then we cut back to the gang again. This time the gang is home, and they've returned the diamond to May. I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name. To May, and May's looking at him and is like, yeah, this is the $6 million diamonds. She pays them their cut of the money, and she puts the diamond in a safe, and she tells them that she's going to sell them. But before she lets them go, she has a question for them. She says, you just stole a $6 million diamond, and there has been no reports. I have friends who work in newspaper and in high places, and none of them, and I haven't heard anything from them about a $6 million diamond stolen. What did you guys do? And Dragona, the guy, they stutter for a while, and then Dragona says it's a long story, and she's like, yeah, I have time, tell me. And Dragona is like, okay, look at your hand, and the diamond is is in her hand, which freaks her out naturally. And then the gang starts to try and explain, but she's like, wait, 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 wait. This could be interesting. And the last shot we saw is Charmin Man, sitting outside on a bench waiting for the rest of the gang. And the story goes, and with the panel going, with the end caption going, what's the idea that May has, or what's May's idea. So that's the chapter so far. It's a wrap up chapter. It's the wrap up of the mini arc that we've had so far. So there isn't a lot of big reveals in it. It's just more building on it's more so building on the mystery that that's being built, right? We don't really get a lot of big reveals or anything like that. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. That's the review of Jojoland Chapter 12. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.